It's time to have a look through the papers again this morning with the old entrepreneur, Kate Hardcastle, and A&E doctor, Kish and Rees. Morning, both.
Good morning.
Kish, to the front of The Guardian, looking at interns, unpaid interns.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is quite positive in terms of the government launching a crackdown on unpaid internships, sending 550 warning letters to companies that are basically exploiting people. And I think back to when I was working in Specsavers, and when I was going through medical school, I was looked after, I could take time off for exams, I could go back and work over the summer holidays, and that's not the case now. Medical students and people applying for medical school don't get that opportunity. So I think this is really, really welcome if they are kind of cracking down on this, because we need to look after our workforce and make sure they're not being exploited.
Two tweets on this that have just come in the last few minutes. Derek Watson says, who's a lecturer, unpaid placements are critical to balance theory and practice to enhance student employability. Paul Sylvester says, after 3 years at university, my daughter spent 2 years doing unpaid internships with 3 separate companies before she got a full-time job. So basically for 2 years, she and I were basically funding London businesses.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things in terms of working for exposure, like one of the things they're talking about in terms of media. Lots of people work for exposure and they get the experience in the hope that it will lead to something else. But I mean, one thing it says down here is no one should feel like they should have to work for free to get the skills and experience they need to get ahead. And I think, yeah, an element of it, like a week or two is good, but for 2 years,
yeah, I think that's
it's a bit long, isn't it?
Yeah. Your thoughts on that? We're going to be talking about it at 9:30 this morning. Kish, this eggs IVF breakthrough thing. Now, I don't quite understand this with my scientist head on. What genetic structure have they got?
What they're saying is that in terms of women that are undergoing potentially dangerous chemotherapy, say, that could damage their eggs, what they're saying is they can take out eggs in the early stage of their development and then allow them to kind of be kept in a lab and then grow them to the point of being able to be fertilised.
Artificial?
No. So they grow them to the point of being fertilised, which I think it could offer hope in terms of women that have to undergo treatment that would affect their fertility. But it is still early days, and as you were saying in the package before, there could be kind of other problems. So it's early days, but it is potentially a promising breakthrough.
Couldn't you, I mean, I'm no expert in this area, couldn't you harvest eggs prior to treatment?
They do that, and they do some of that, but I think this is the change in this is they're doing them early, really at the earliest stage of development, and then they're letting them develop in the labs to a point where they would be able to be fertilised. Right. That's the change.
Wow, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating science. So they're still going to try to work out if they could be fertilised, though, couldn't they, at the minute? Anyway, obviously we're going to keep an eye on that one for you. More papers from Kate and Kish in a moment. Olympians can make mistakes, though, Kish, can't they? In the Eye, page 9, the Norwegian team have ordered too many eggs.
This one cracked me up. It was quite good. Thanks very much. That's the only reason I wanted to do it. Sorry, I had to do it. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, just like that. Chefs scramble for solution. They ordered 15,000 eggs instead of 1,500. So a truck of them was being delivered, and they had to kind of return them and things. But they were using Google Translate to help place the order, and they got it wrong.
I know people doing that online with their shopping every week.
15,000 eggs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. I think it's a lot of omelettes, but it sounds pretty good to me. Lovely. Thank you both. We'll see you a little bit later on. Let's get a check on the weather for you this morning with Naz.